have you noticed are helping people thrive in their careers even during this uncertainty? What are the skills that we need to nurture or that come naturally to some people that are putting them in a really good position at the moment? I'd love to know your thoughts there. I'll start with Janice this time.
Okay, thank you. I came across a wonderful phrase from Tom Rivet-Carnac, who did a TED talk on how to shift your mindset and change your future. And he talks about stubborn optimism and having that sort of calm resolve to get yourself through a situation come what may. So I thought that was one thing that really stuck in my head, actually. And I also came across something else that SurveyMonkey did, a report they did on, where is it? Okay, 2 key traits for successfully navigating the coronavirus crisis, and they turned out to be curiosity and agility. Actually, and that's what I'm seeing with the people who has just been able to pivot and just swing around the other way and offer their services in a different way. So that would be my take on that at this moment.
Lovely, thank you. Curiosity and agility.
Yeah, it's a sort of a report on an organizational level, but I think it could just as easily apply to individuals. So, yeah.
So curiosity, agility, and stubborn optimism. Yeah, love that. I love that. I'll go to Carol next.
Yeah, I mean, and I would agree with that. What Janice has said, I would say resilience as well is key during this time. The ability to be able to adapt to changing circumstances and environments as well, and also to having that self-motivation to be able to, there is a lot of negativity at the moment. So having that self-motivation to sort of keep putting yourself forward, to keep rising when everyone around you is negative and moaning and complex, because there is a lot of negativity, and if you allow that to consume you, you can end up feeling very negative as well.
Yes, and I guess that very much connects with that stubborn optimism, doesn't it? Maybe there isn't a huge amount to be as optimistic about as there once was, but refusing not to be. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you know what? This pandemic had been, I have to say, amazing for a lot of employees who pivoted into owning their own business. They had a few of them who've been thinking about it for a while. But what I found is people who were able to just do it. So the skill had been the ability to pivot, those who own the business pivot into something else, offering a different type of service. Those people who had offline business, brick and mortar coming online. I mean, the resilience, the creativity was amazing. And so that's what I've seen come through, the resilience of knowing that you don't have to plan everything out all that time by planning your business 5 years ahead, which is great. And then you realize, 5 years ahead is both. It's a lot of assumptions there. So I think the idea that you can, even when things don't go well, that they could look at it and find a solution, zoom back out of it and just think, right, what can I try? I have to think outside of the box. Outside of the box thinking was amazing this year. I've seen a lot of businesses, podiatrists, somebody that does feet. Like, how do you have to see the feet to do the work, right? And being able to offer sessions where someone can teach you how to do it yourself. I just think that's what I've seen come through. Really, those are the skills and ability that I've enjoyed learning about the most, really.
Can I jump in? Because I'm just listening to Obi there. I've just creativity. I've loved watching how creative people have been.
Yeah,
that I think has been.
Oh gosh, yes.
Yeah, just been amazing.
I'm thinking about the leaders that I've been working with, and what I've found is sort of the courage to be vulnerable, the courage to not have to be that leader who's bulletproof, who never gets anything wrong. I've noticed particularly people thriving in this time who are now saying, I didn't sleep last night, I'm finding it really hard to manage, I need to take some time off, and really showing more compassion and empathy with others. So I've noticed that as a real quality of people who are succeeding in this time. So I feel more sensitivity and more compassion and a different kind of leading than they've done before. And I'm very curious to see if that will continue beyond but I definitely see that as a quality of people within the workplace. And I think the leaders who are trying to push their employees in the same way as they did before, sort of work long hours, pretend this COVID thing's not happening. I don't think they are succeeding in the same way. I think they're losing the faith of their employees, maybe having a bit of losing that psychological contract that needs to be there to really work well. So I think there definitely is something about actually your willingness to be vulnerable in order to really connect with other people, which I think has
and I would agree with that, and I would add to that as well, showing their personality and their personal self as well. One client, her chief exec in the summer would be doing like daily videos for the organization in the garden with it, and you could see the children running around in the back, and that helps. I think that really makes a big difference to people to see, well, she's just like, they're just like us.
I have to say, you're right. That is definitely one of the highlights of the last few months, where people get to see people in their natural environment where they are. The bit that we do, so like the mask has dropped. So when you wear a mask when you're getting to work, because all the expectations and the rest of it, and then but when you're almost inviting people into your home to work, if that makes sense. So you're the host, they're the guest. So they get to see your background and all the stuff, and the cat trying to get out. So all the stuff which allows the vulnerability to come out. I can't see how that would change too much. I know, Jenny, you're thinking, well, is it going to go back to normal again, where people just pretend they don't care about people? It might, but I'm not going to forget about that cat that you have. I'm not going to forget about your kids screaming, but I'm not going to forget that. But when you change role during that time, maybe you won't get to connect in the way the people who were already there during the pandemic connected. So that part, we have to think about, how would we do that? How would we, someone who just started with us after pandemic, how do we connect, make sure they connect with us in that way and all of that? But yeah, I thought it was a brilliant point, actually, Jenny.
Yeah, I think as well, just thinking about the context as well, now there's a lot more around equality and diversity as well. And I think that's, missing on trying to make the most of the full diversity of your team and allowing them to bring their full selves in, whatever that means. I think that's a quality. I think that's is it a quality? Is it a skill? Whatever it is, I think that's something that you need now. I think you could have navigated your way through being colorblind, not noticing lots of different things about people, or pretending not to notice. And again, I think this is something that in the world we're in now, I'm hoping won't go back, where you need to see people as they are. You need to acknowledge them for the fullness of who they are, and try and ask them who they are, because we all like, the intersection of who we are. We look, the four of us look like Black women, but there's so much more to our experience, and we're all very individual. And I think trying to understand more about people and really see them fully, and try and understand what it means to walk in their shoes, or understand what barriers they might experience. I think that's another skill and quality that leaders are going to have to be really nurturing and really working on. And I guess all of us, because you might be great around race and ethnicity, but you might still have a way to go around sexual orientation or whatever it is. And so really thinking about the diversity of the people who you're leading. Any more thoughts on that?
It's important.
Sorry, go on, Janice.
No, I was just going to say, so it's really about enabling people to bring all their sort of potential and talent, and really show up for work. Because there has been traditionally a problem with engagement as well, employee engagement. And if you're kind of leaving half your personality, character, talent behind, then what good is that doing anyone else anyway? So sorry, thank you.
Do you want to say something, Carol?
Yeah, I was going to say that having those interpersonal skills as well is key now, and leaders that are lacking in that will struggle to, as you say, keep people engaged and by sort of not bringing themselves, the whole selves in to work, so that people can see that bit of vulnerability about them, that they will cause a disengagement with the people that they lead.